All right, Luke chapter 14, verse 16. Then said he unto him, a certain man made a great supper, bade many, and sent his servants at supper time to say to them that were bidden, come, for all things are now ready. And they all with one consent began to make excuses. The first said unto him, I have bought a piece of ground, and I must need go and see it. I pray thee have me excused.
And Yahawashi talked about that as well as the seed being planted amongst thorns, man. Where the cares of this world will choke the seed out you, man. Because our people worried about the temporary carnal things that they can get in this life, man, and to take them away from eternity, man. Because the elect that make it out of here, man, they're going to be a beginning. They're going to be aristocrats, man. When you look into aristocrats, it's the elite of a nation. The ones considered the noblest of that nation, man. The elect are going to be that, man. Because every child after that is going to have a beginning, and he's going to be able to go back to one of the elect men of the Lord, man. So you're going to be the progenitor of your family, man. It said one small one shall be as a nation, man. But you got men, you got women that are putting off the day of the Lord and putting off that eternal blessing for what they can get right now, man. Oh, my credit up, let me go ahead and get me a car. I'm going to come back to the marriage, I'm going to do the work, but this job said I can get 60K if I apply for it, but I can't do the work. All of these things are snares, man. And the Lord really put them in your place to prove you, man. You got it, brother.
Verse 19, and another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I go to prove them. I pray thee have me excused.
Exactly, man. You can't have your cake and eat it too with YAHAWASHI, man. We're not in that time, man. We're not in that time of knowing the truth and being able to walk this thin line of gaining something in the world and gaining something in YAHAWASHI's kingdom. Now that don't mean that you don't work as hard as you can with whatever's being put in front of you. What that means is that you don't put your heart in this place, man. You don't look to this place and think about your future here, man. You just do whatever's in front of you, man, until a time appointed, man. And haste to flee from these times and get into the kingdom of YAHAWASHI, man. That's what we're doing. We're bending our people to the marriage, man. That the Lord is gathering us up for a family reunion, so to speak, man. And only a few of our family members is gonna make it this time. You got it, brother.
And another said, I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come.
and that goes into these women, man. In 1 Esdras, the 4th chapter, it tells you that many have went out of their wits and become servants to women, man. Because the Lord has 100-fold of whatever you losing on this side, man. But if you ain't got the faith to follow YAHAWASHI, then it's not for you, man. And you're going to have to taste of that death by pain, man. If the rewards don't provoke you, the death by pain should, man. The idea of the Lord putting you to death in a gruesome way, that should provoke you to get on your job, man. Eternity is right around the corner. We're not even in the time of Joseph or Daniel, where you could just be a star in Babylon in captivity. We're in the time of all of these kingdoms falling, man, and the Lord establishing righteousness forevermore, man. Come on, man. Our people so used to being late everywhere that they don't even got a concept of eternity, man. So used to always being behind on time, they don't even have a concept of abundance, man. You got it, brother.
So the servant came and showed his Lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to the servant, go out quickly into the streets and the lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor and the maimed and the halt and the blind.
And that's why YAHAWASHI was telling the Sadducees and the Pharisees that these publicans was going to make it into the kingdom before you do, man. Because you so proud and you got so much on this side that you think that you straight, man. That you going to have your cake on this side and eat it on the other side, man. And the Lord said, no, I'm going to bring in the poor. I'm going to bring in the trodden, the brokenhearted, man. And that's why the Lord requires his men to be on the highways and byways, man. Because a lot of people that's hearing this message don't have internet, man. A lot of them don't have access to these the internet to watch this on YouTube, man. And if they did, they wouldn't know where to look, man. That's why the Lord requires his men to stand up with great boldness and to make themselves a living sacrifice, man. The Lord is going to make our boldness manifest, man. When all of these prophecies continue to go down and then you actually see the men of the Lord being beamed up, you're going to know that you missed out, man. If you're hearing this message and it makes sense and you're not doing nothing about it. You got it, brother.
And the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room. The Lord said unto his servant, go out into the highways and hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled.
Because the Lord said, what? The harvest is plenteous, but the laborers are few, man. the Lord got a lot for us, man. But only a few of our people really want it, man. Because our people have settled, man. Mentally and spiritually, our people have settled for this place, man. In their mind, they figure this is going to go on forever, so they might as well make the best out of a worse situation, man. Get it how you live, man. That's a slogan amongst our people, which is a slogan of death, man. Means that you don't have to have a standard of morality, man. However you can get it, man. And more than likely in the valley of the shadow of death is going to be wickedness, man. And if you don't have the spirit to resist wickedness, man, you don't deserve what the Lord has to offer you on the first dominion, man. We say this all the time. The entire nation of Israel is going to be saved through the loins of the 1/3 that are delivered from this place, man. If we could get, what is that, Romans 11 and 26? Unless you still holding it.
Romans chapter 11 and verse 26. And it reads, and so all YAHAWASHI shall be saved.
Right.
As it is written, there shall come out of Zion the deliverer, and shall turn away ungodliness from Jacob.
Exactly. So the entire nation of Israel are going to receive the inheritance that was promised to their forefathers, man. Because that's the inheritance that belongs to the seed of Jacob, man. And the Lord swore on himself, man, that he was going to deliver that promise to his nation, to that nation, man. So eventually all of the nation of Israel are going to receive this gift, this blessing, this inheritance. But on this side, only 1/3 are going to make it through that fire, man. Because the Lord is not requiring, he's not calling the average Israelite on this go-round. He's calling the elite of the nation of Israel, man. The aristocrats of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. The actual judges and rulers of the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. He's calling the elite to the wedding right now, man. You got a question, brother?
What y'all got? What y'all do?
You heard about this before? You know you're a child of God? I mean, everybody say that, but do you know that that you are an Israelite? Do you know what an Israelite is? What is an Israelite? It's a descendant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. When you go through the Old Testament, the Lord made a promise to Abraham that he was going to bless him. He was going to give him the land of Israel. He was going to make his seed a ruler. And Abraham passed that down to Isaac, and Isaac passed it down to Jacob. And Jacob, the blessing went to all of his children. That's why they call themselves, what, the 12 tribes of Israel. Before his name was Israel, it was Jacob. So the Lord, in Deuteronomy, the Lord made a covenant with our people, which is a contract. He said, look, if y'all follow my rules, I'm going to bless y'all. Let's get Deuteronomy 15 and 6. To hear one of the blessings that the Lord said he had for us if we actually obeyed his word and been obedient.
What are you? Are you an activist?
I'm an Israelite. This is our heritage.
This ain't no religion.
This is our heritage.
This ain't Baptist or Methodist or Pentecostal or Catholic. This is our heritage.
Before we were called African Americans, we were Israelites. When you go to the books, they have books of recordings of the names of the slaves that came over here, and they were Hebrew names. So we had a culture before slavery. When you go through the elementary school here, our history starts where? On slave ships. And our people take that to their grave.
Well, I'm actually from the Congo. I'm from Africa.
So you know what? So you know about this thing.
I know everything. But I have a radio show I do every Saturday at 2 p.m. I would actually love y'all to be on my show. Y'all can show the world what y'all got going on.
Well, we showing the world right now, brother. You know, if you want to come down, I mean, we're doing this work right here. You know, we don't want to really be on the radio station. If you want to come out here and talk and dialogue with us, you're free to do that.
Radio.
I mean, because this is how we doing the work. You know, we don't have no hidden agendas, and we don't want it to look that way. You know, we out here on the highways and hedges.
Lord said, come out to the streets.
Look at what my show is about. Small groups. It's about.
I got you.
Seeking hidden knowledge to prosper. So,
right.
If I can get y'all on my show, people seek that knowledge that they never knew about. They help them prosper, just like you did to me.
Well, and I'm surprised that you didn't know about being an Israelite, man.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The youth need to hear about this. That's what I'm saying.
I feel you, brother.
Listen to my radio show. So.
I feel you. And it's not out of disrespect. It's just out of us following the commandments of the Lord. He told us to be on the highways and hedges, to preach this gospel in truth and sincerity.
It's basically like in the opens of the city. Okay. In the cheap place where mainly where people walk constantly moving around at.
So if I may ask, what do you believe in?
What I believe in?
Yeah.
I mean, I believe in God and everything. I got saved like in 2011.
Okay.
Christian and stuff. But other than that, you know, I believe God is gonna come back.
But we're in that time, and along with the Lord coming back is Him telling His people. Let's get Hosea 1:10 before we jump to that. One thing that the Lord is gonna have along with judgment and Him coming back is His people remembering who they are. Because the Lord has a chosen people. Let's get that, brother. We got it.
This is Romans chapter 9, verse 26. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there they shall be called the children of the living power.
Yeah, now get Hosea 1:10. Because the Lord said that His people weren't going to know who they were.
I got it.
So the Lord was going to have to send His prophets out to let them know. You got it?
Yeah, I got it. But let me bring this out. Hosea chapter 1, verse 10. Yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God.
So that's prophecy. Our people were going to lose their heritage, and they were going to remember themselves in the land of their captivity. That's a part of the Lord destroying this kingdom. Just like He went into Egypt, He took His people out and He destroyed that kingdom for what they did to His people. We're living in that time again.
We don't same one that came out of Egypt, same one that went in Assyrian captivity, same one that went in Babylon captivity.
Because when you go to the Old Testament, our people were in and out of captivity. Because the children of Israel were being obedient to the word, and then they would disobey, and the Lord would send a nation to put them in captivity. Then He would deliver them just for them to do the same thing.
You think America's gonna go down like Rome did?
America is Rome again.
Revived.
That's why it's all the Latin letters, the architecture, all of this is Rome revived. When you go into Revelations, it tells you that the beast was wounded unto death and its deadly wound was healed. That Roman Empire fell, but it came back in a form of what you call America now. But it's going to fall just like it did in the past, because if you look at how Rome fell, their military was spread too thin. Their dollar, yeah, their economy was being destroyed because their money system was being defrauded. You had people that were chipping off the metal on the gold coins or the silver coins, and then they were mixing it with copper and metals that didn't have any value. So their money system was dying at the same time, and you see that happening now with the petrodollar.
The government shut down.
The government shutdown. All of these things are Rome making the same mistakes again.
What they're doing is ushering in the RFD microchip.
Yeah, the mark of the beast.
Cashless society.
Yeah.
The RFD microchip. That everybody get in their right hand, left hand.
Yeah, let's get that. Revelation 13. Because people think this mark of the beast is some spooky, where you're gonna have some antichrist with a suit that's smiling at people, that's looking at you and saying, "Look, take this mark, this 666 on your hand, or you're gonna die." No, the Lord has given us practical things in a parable, in a story-like manner, so we could understand it and receive it. Bring it out, brother.
Revelations chapter 13, verse 16. And He causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
Continue.
And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
Exactly. So that mark is going to be an actual chip. The same way you have a chip in your debit card, eventually they're going to phase out debit cards, just like they're phasing out cash. And eventually you're going to walk into Walgreens, and if you got a chip in your hand, you don't got to pay nothing, you just swipe it.
I think they already did that.
They already started doing it.
It's everywhere, man.
They're doing it in Sweden right now.
Sweden, China.
Sweden got a lot of people that's doing that. If you go into India, they've completely gotten rid of cash.
It's a company in Wisconsin called 3 Square Market. They have 50 other employees that get it, man. And there's a lot of people got it right now in North America, man.
Because it's not just going to be a debit card, it's going to be identification.
Right.
They started in Arkansas too. They started passing a law to where make it legal for workers to have microchip.
And they pushing off as convenience, man. It's convenient.
But it is the mark. Because for you to take that, you're giving yourself allegiance to a system of oppression. That's why the Lord likened it unto a beast. Because what does a beast do? It goes around and it seeks blood. And that's what this system has done, is destroyed many nations.
There's going to be another form of slavery.
Well, this is another form of slavery. If you look at it, it's called debt slavery. This system right here is already slavery. It's just now people don't have chains on it.
Right.
It's a debt system now.
Yeah.
You the credit card debt, the housing bubble. the student loan bubble. All of these are systems of debt. So you're forced to work. You have no option. You have no other alternative but to work to pay off the debt that you owe. You know, so. But it's really, eventually it's going to transition and people are going to have these chips and it's going to be required for you to buy or sell. You ain't going to be able to walk in Walgreens with a debit card. You're going to have that chip or it's just like, you know, we don't take cash. You got some places that say they don't even take cash anymore.
They take cash, yeah.
It's going to be the same thing. And do not take that mark. Do not take that mark.
With a chip?
Yeah, do not take that chip.
Right.
How am I going to know when they put it in?
Because it's gonna be mandatory for you to get. They're gonna make it mandatory.
And you're gonna remember this conversation. You're gonna remember this conversation.
A lot of people got it now, man. A lot of people got it. Right.
The Lord brought you up here for this purpose, so you can hear this. You know, if anything, do not take that chip. Now, whether you are convinced at this moment that you're a child of God, you know, it's the truth regardless. But you have to be convinced in your own mind.
Right.
So you should go home and do some studying on your own. But you are a child of God, and a part of the Lord judging this place is testing His servants. If you take that chip, you're showing your allegiance. That you're not allegiant, you don't have allegiance to the Most High. That you have allegiance to this system.
According to the Bible, if you see those missiles that Russia, Iran, China, Syria prepping to shoot over here, that's how He's going to destroy this place with fire. It's going to be from those missiles. It's in the scripture, in Revelation, the 9th chapter.
Let's get Joel 3.
He's going to destroy this place with the intercontinental ballistic missiles, man. It's thermonuclear fire.
Joel 3. What that brother is saying is right and correct. What you see going on in Syria, what you see going on in Saudi Arabia, Iran, with this proxy war between Russia and the USA, all of that is the Lord's will. He's bringing all these nations to that place for a purpose. You got it, brother.
Joel chapter 3, verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Assemble yourselves, and come all ye heathen.
Oh, he said it. The plowshare, and pruning hook, he said beat into swords. Those are farming tools, agriculture. So he telling them, squash that. You're gonna take that money and turn it into these missiles.
And if you look at these systems, a lot of these smaller countries, they used to invest more in their agriculture and their economy. Now they're investing more in military. So the Lord just giving us simple ways to understand complex things.
What's I feel about like the Illuminati stuff?
The Illuminati's in the scriptures.
Yeah, they're the elites. They're the ones who control the earth. Let's get Job 9:24.
I get it. You stay on Joel, brother. I get Joel.
That's who control the earth, man. Yeah. The elites. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, Oppenheimer, DuPont, the Gettys. Job 9:24.
So this is Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?
They say, if not, where and who is he? Say, it covered the faces of the judges. Who painted that image of Jesus Christ? To be themselves.
Who painted the image of Jesus?
Right, to be their likeness.
White.
Right. So it said the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. Right? They just passed laws for bestiality.
Right.
They got a hotel, you can go take your dog in it, whatever.
Animal brothel.
They passed homosexual, transgender, lesbian, bisexual, all that. The earth was given to the hand of the wicked. He covered the face of the judge thereof. Hey, okay.
Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4.
Right.
Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished.
Now hold on. Edom is the so-called white man.
Right.
Okay.
That's the biblical nationality.
Edom, that's the biblical name. Ain't no white in the Bible. Edom mean red. Okay? Because they have no pigment, no melanin, so their blood show forth through their skin. When you look at them, are they white or red? And they're different shades of pink.
They're variations.
They sold their birthright in the scripture in Genesis for some raw meat, for a soup that had raw meat in it, a lentil soup. Why you think they like their steaks like that right now? They like their steaks medium rare, blood.
Say the white people sold their colorness.
They sold their birthright.
The birthright.
To our forefather. Esau, the so-called white man, and our forefather came out the same mother.
Just like you have so-called black families that have albinos.
Right. They were fraternal twins.
So they were twins in the womb in Genesis, and the Lord gave the blessing that was passed from Abraham and Isaac. He gave it to Jacob instead of Esau.
Then Jacob had 12 sons, and the blessing went to us.
But Esau, the so-called white man's biblical nationality.
Look. Is he red? He red, bro.
His biblical nationality is Edom. Idawam. Or Ishashua, which is wasted away as he because he has no pigmentation.
Right.
Hold on, continuing on, it says, we are impoverished. Malachi 1:4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down.
And they did that when they came over here and established North America. When they slaughtered Native American Indians and all that, right? Go ahead.
But I will throw down. So the Lord's saying, even though they built that, he's going to throw it down.
Tear it down. Like Rome. Just like Rome.
Yeah.
And they shall call them the border of wickedness.
He said,
all right?
Esau.
And when you go into the Hebrew word for border, it means territory or region.
Right.
So wherever they go, they're going to be recognized as the region or territory of wickedness.
Right. That's all they do.
And the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. So the Lord has righteous anger for them forever, because they were created as the wicked. So 9:24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. When you go to Malachi 1:4, it calls them the border of wickedness, which would make them what? The wicked.
Right.
And you can see it by their actions. It ain't rocket science. You see how they rocking and how they moving on the earth. They got the top spot, and look at what they doing to the earth with it.
And their blessing was to live by the sword. That's what his blessing was. What is his modern day sword now? His military. What do you see China got a military base over here? Anywhere else? Do you see Japan or Russia got a military? No. But Esau, the so-called white man who controlled North America, they have military bases everywhere.
I got his blessing. So this is his blessing. Genesis 27:38. And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father.
And this is after Jacob got the blessing, our forefather, Israel, right?
And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above.
I mean, they're gonna control the whole planet, everywhere. They're gonna live in the best parts, and they're gonna control everything about the planet.
What they do now?
Exactly.
Because
this is their blessing. They're living inside of their blessing. But this is a key point.
Right.
Verse 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So by his sword he was going to rule the earth. He was going to enjoy the fatness of the earth, but he was going to have to maintain it with the sword, which is why he has the top military on the planet.
Right.
Because he has to maintain his blessing.
Right. I got a quick precept.
You got it, bro.
This Deuteronomy, this one of the curses, because the curses we cursed. We got curses on us because we broke the Lord's commandments. So he cursed us, right? Because we made a covenant with him and we broke it. Our forefathers broke the covenant. And it went all the way down to us right now. That's why we had to come like.
What did we break? What the Bible said that we
broke? Ooh. You want to get that?
Yeah. I never knew that we broke a law.
Yeah.
Other than Adam and Eve eating the apple, but.
Right. Actually, that was fruit. It wasn't no apple. It was just the tree of knowledge. Satan taught Eve the philosophies. That's why when you go to college, you gotta take psychology, philosophy. It's about cunning. It's about that's why he's a serpent. He's good with words. They know how to. Right.
If you go to Genesis, what did he say? He said, if you eat of this fruit, you shall be like the Most High.
Right.
You should have knowledge, because the Most High knows about good and evil. At that time, our people only knew righteousness.
Right.
Because you're going to find out that reincarnation is in the Bible. So our people really go back to the garden as the people of Adam. But going back to the curses that we broke, all right? This is Deuteronomy 28, and I'll start at 45.
1.
Yeah, I'll start at 1, Salaki. And it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all the nations of the earth.
We got 613 laws.
One of those laws is not eating shellfish, not eating pork.
All in the Bible?
Yes.
Because there's nothing pork eat.
Yep, it tells you not to eat
no
swine.
Crab, no pork, no lobster.
Anything inside the ocean needs to have scales and fins.
All these bamboo balls. Damn.
Which is why, but you know what, brother? This is why the one that they ignorantly called Jesus was important for our people. Because we were going to be in ignorance at one time.
Right.
And if once we got to the knowledge of knowing who we were, his grace was going to cover what we've already done. So now we can start to build and get back to our heritage. Because under the law, certain things you did, it was no coming back from it.
Right.
Like there's the law of adultery. If you sleep with another man's woman, you're supposed to be put to death and she's supposed to be put to death. A man can have more than one wife, but you're not supposed to sleep with another man's wife. And that's what's glorified in this place. But that's against the laws of the Lord. Those are just 2 of the 613 laws.
Glorifying hip-hop.
Exactly, but they weaponized our music because they know we're musical people. We love music. That's how we understand things. That's how we learn.
Right.
That's how we pass messages from each other. And they knew that and they infiltrated that and gave us something wicked and pushed it out. So when you hear those nice beats, you're like, man, this beat riding. You don't realize that you're ingesting wickedness inside your system. It's going inside your subconscious, your programming.
Right.
So you moving in certain things that you see in the world don't look as bad to you because you heard it on the song. Recently you had this guy Future talk about how he quits drinking lean, but he ain't want to tell nobody.
Right.
But he promote that all throughout his music, and it's killing young kids, man. But he said that he didn't want to tell his fans because he didn't think they was gonna love him the same. Yeah, bro.
Okay.
But getting back to the point, what the brother was saying.
Right. So read verse 15. So when he read verse 1, it's saying, if you listen to me, you're gonna be blessed. But all the people of the earth, you're gonna have abundance of everything. Right. This is verse 15.
Verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Right. Man, we gonna catch hell. He tell you when you go through the curses, we're gonna get sick. We're gonna continue to die.
Slavery.
Right.
All that.
Let her hit 43.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him.
That's what I want to say. Who lend to us?
Ain't nothing.
Right. They said they shall lend to you, but you should not lend to them. Who
Like
own the
loans
bank?
and stuff. Exactly.
Right. Before they get to all these.
He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
Right.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
Meaning food, clothes, shelter, transportation, whatever. You got to go to them for everything.
And,
right.
yeah.
Read it again.
Bible.
Read it again.
This is Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and the 48th verse. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
He said your enemies now. Go ahead.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
Who did that, bro? We know who did that.
You see, he clearly, and they put those yokes of iron on our people's neck, so if they ran away and they ran in the bushes, they get tripped up. Yeah.
Here 68.
Verse 68 says, Deuteronomy 28 and 68.
Look at this ship, slave ship packed for the people, right?
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
The word Egypt means slavery, it means bondage. So this is, North America is considered spiritual Egypt because of slavery.
I got a precept. Exodus 20 and 2. Beautiful. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. So when the Lord refers to Egypt, he's talking about that house of bondage while people were slaves in it. Right. So Deuteronomy 28 and 68 again. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again.
In the land of Israel.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. When you go
buy me, redeem.
Beautiful.
No man shall redeem us, but the Heavenly Father. Get Luke 1:68. Got that Psalm 83. Bring that out.
It's Psalms 83.
Now this is about all these people on this sign. that had confederacy against us. Right? Not he know one is us. But from 2 on down. Go ahead, dog.
Let's start at verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
And the Lord said this constantly, your enemies. Go ahead.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden one.
Right.
They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
Right.
So they cut our people off from their heritage. So our people have isolated themselves. They call themselves Jamaicans. They call themselves Puerto Ricans. And they're really one body of people. And because they divided our people like that, it's easier to conquer us. You got it, man.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites.
Edom is the so-called white man.
And the
Ishmaelites are the Arabs.
Yep.
Of Moab.
Moab is the Chinese.
And the Hagarene.
Hagarene is some more Ishmaelites.
Cabal. And Ammon.
Ammon is the Japanese.
And Amalek.
Amalek are the chief Edomites. The ones who call themselves Jews today. The ones who own every damn thing. Rothschild, Rockefeller.
That's the elite. That's the elites of the so-called white.
Right. That's the elites of the Edomites. The Amalek. Go ahead.
The Philistines.
Them the Africans. Them the ones who grabbed us up and sold us to the Edomites. Real Africans.
Because when we were in Rome in 70 AD, the Roman Empire destroyed our land.
Right.
They destroyed Judea. Matter of fact, you can continue talking, brother. I got it. I'll get the book.
So go ahead, finish that.
And the inhabitants of Tyre.
The inhabitants of Tyre, which is some more Africans. So what he finna read to you, that's good on that.
So this is the book Babylon, the Timbuktu.
What's it about?
He finna read it to you.
It tells you about all of the civilizations during that time, during the history. You know, when you look at it, it says a history of ancient black races, including the black Hebrews. Okay? Now, when you go to page 84, it reads, in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves.
Jew, they call themselves Jews, right? Jew comes from the word Judah. So Judah, Benjamin, and Levi was represented. Jew is only one tribe, Judah.
Right.
But what was said is they couldn't tell us apart, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, so they called all 3 of these tribes Jews. So it said over 1 million Jews, because what you gotta understand, the northern kingdom from Simeon on down, they was already on this side of the world. We was still, it probably was a scallop, you know, a handful or so. But these 3 tribes came over here on the slave ships. They was already over here, Simeon on down to Issachar.
And all of our people didn't come in over here to slave.
Right. Some
of our people stayed in the land of Africa. And if you look at the west, off the west coast of Africa, you see a lot of Hebrew customs, man.
Right.
Because that's where our people were when we got snatched up.
Fringes over there, the borders are blue, with the fringes.
They say that some of the black leaders sold the black people.
Some of them did. Some of those Israelite tribes, to protect their own estate, they gave up some of their own. But the majority of the people that were hunting our people down were the actual Hamites, the actual Africans, because we were refugees in that land. It's the same thing of having homeless people or something on the street and you don't want them anymore and you find an opportunity to get rid of them. What are you going to do? Because they love to have that narration that our people sold Africans, we sold ourselves. And some of that was going on. But the majority of this...
That's what happens today.
Yeah. But the majority of the people that were catching our people were actual Hamites because they were trying to get us out of their land because we fled into that land running. Hamites are the what you call the biblical nationality of the Africans today. What you know as Africans today, their biblical nationality, they come from Ham.
So I'm gonna read this to you.
Bad guys.
I wouldn't necessarily say that they're bad guys. They're just not. There are all the nations have a confederacy against this nation,
Right.
because this nation has been
Agreed
chosen.
to you. Right.
When you
That's-
go into the scriptures, the Lord chose a particular people to be above all other nations, to be the righteous rulers, or an example of righteousness. Our nation has the responsibility of being an example of the Most High and His representative on earth.
So this is the Compact Bible Dictionary tell you about Ham, which is the real African, right? It say Ham. Well, Ham was the youngest son of Noah. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth.
Okay.
So it say Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of the 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, the Ethiopians, the Libyans, and the Canaanites.
Because when you go into the Exodus, right, Moses was passed on as an Egyptian. So in order for him to be an Egyptian, be a Hebrew, and be able to pass as an Egyptian, he had to be dark-skinned as well. So skin color does not determine your nationality. It's an indicator, but it's not an absolute determination of your nationality. You got it.
Numbers 1 and 18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the 2nd month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward by their poll.
So your nationality is determined by the seed of your father. If I plant an orange tree in America or China, it's still gonna come out of orange. That works the same way for mankind. So no matter what somebody's color is, if their seed line goes back to this nation, then they are of that nation, regardless of skin color. You got it.
Romans 8 and 16. The Spirit itself bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. So that's it. Like you were saying, it doesn't matter how like your skin looks and stuff like that. If the Spirit bears witness with everything that's coming out, the truth of the Bible, then you're more likely it is because like you said, it's determined by the seed line of the Father. If I was to go and have like a kid with a Chinese name, and I had a son, and he looked like his mother, and then he went and had another Chinese name, they kept doing that right there.
Get lighter and lighter. Scripture and Daniel called confused faces. So you're gonna have Israelites that looking like Chinese and Japanese and Edomites. But I can go have sex with a white woman. My kid might come out, but it's still Israelite. But because they might take the color of the mother. You know what I'm saying?
But they call it the Albino people. Are they like in the inside and white and outside?
They have a condition where they lack the pigmentation, the ability to bring forth melanin in their skin.
It's like the Edomites.
But Edomites are recognized as clean lepers.
Right.
Meaning that at this point, their entire nationality comes out that way. Because when you go into our scriptures, losing your pigmentation was considered leprosy.
Right.
Leprosy was you know how you have people that have what they call today vitiligo, where you have some of your skin lose the pigmentation, but you can still see some of the pigmentation on other parts. In the Bible, that's considered leprosy.
It's Numbers 12 and 10. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, Aaron, pretty good. Numbers 12 and 10. And the cloud departed off the tabernacle, and behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous. And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech you, lay not the sin upon us.
Lay not the sin upon us. So what's going on right here is Miriam, which was Moses' sister, was talking against Moses. So the Lord took her pigment from her. Go ahead.
Wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned.
Right.
Let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed when he cometh out of his mother's womb.
Right. So it's a sin to be leprous, man. Like Cain, when Cain killed Abel, right? People always say, oh, the mark that the Lord put on Cain was an X on his head. Cain said, the sin that you laid upon me, he said, the punishment that you laid upon me, if any man see me, they're going to kill him. Why? Why would they kill him? Because he got an X on his head. What happened was, everybody was dark skinned. If you see a little albino running through, what you going to be like? Catch that little mother. Right? That's a little devil. Where he come from? It's out of the blue when everybody had pigment. So that's why Cain, that's why the Lord say, if any man slay Cain, vengeance shall be taken on him sevenfold. So basically they got a hedge around them, right? We can go do something, I can do something, and the Edomite can do the same thing. Who will get the most time? No, I am. If me and you go do something, and a white man go do the same crime, who gonna get the most time? Right. That's why the Lord said, anyone slay him, he shall be taking a vengeance sevenfold. Because Cain said, if any man see me, they gonna kill me. No, the Lord wanted Cain to go around so that we could see him, be like, oh yeah, he messed up with the Lord. The Lord took it, you messed up for real. We don't know what you did, but you screwed up big time. Go to Genesis, you got Genesis 25?
Oh, I had Genesis 4.
Oh no, you good, you good. Yeah, go to Genesis 25. I'm gonna show you when Esau first came out, right? Jacob and Esau. It's about Jacob and Esau.
It's Genesis 25.
It started 21.
This is Genesis 25:21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the Lord and the children struggled together within her.
Right. She had twins in her womb.
And she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
The reason she said that, if it's a good thing to have kids, why are they struggling in my womb? Go ahead.
And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
2 nations.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
2 manner of people shall be separated. Now these are not identical twins, they fraternal. But they shall be separated from thy bowels. Go ahead.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
Now we know who's stronger between us and the Edomites, so-called white men. Right. So go to verse 25.
Verse 25. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment.
Right.
And they called his name Esau.
Right. Read the next verse.
And after that came his brother out. His hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob.
Meaning he was going to pull them out of, we're going to snatch them out of their rulership soon. Jacob took hold of Esau. He said Esau came out red all over. That's why I told you, look at the dude. They red because their blood shall pour through their skin. So it didn't tell you how Jacob looked, did it? But the Lord gave us, see, Esau and Jacob is Cain and Abel back in reincarnation. Well, you got to understand when you understand the scriptures, reincarnation is all in the Bible. We come back every 3rd or 4th generation to pay for your judgment.
And then Jesus did when he died the first time. He was sent to the tomb. He raised up again.
Right. But they right. That was him being resurrected though. Okay. That one basically one reincarnation. Reincarnation is read Exodus 20 and 5 real quick. But yeah, so Jacob took hold of Esau's heel. That meant that, to tell you, matter of fact, I'm gonna read it real quick. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6. 2nd Ezra chapter 6 and verse 9. It said, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. What's coming next is the kingdom of heaven. That's for us. So it said Esau is the end of the world. Because who ruled this earth? The Edomite, Esau. Their father named Esau. Then he ate the red food and he became Edom. So that's why we might say Esau. Or we'll say Edom or Edomites. Because his name was Esau at first. When he ate that red pot, that Jacob was cooking the stew. And he told man, feed me that same red meat. And he became Edom. Go ahead.
It's Exodus 20 and 5.
Right.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God.
Right.
Visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate.
See that? He said, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, every 3rd and 4th generation. So we come back every 3rd and 4th generation to pay for what our forefathers did. And that's scripture. Get on. See, they gotta go through the same thing. When they did this to us, get Isaiah 14:21. They gotta go through the same thing, man.
Then they went through the same thing with Hitler.
Them one the Jews, we the Jews. Them was damn Edomites, man. He was killing his own people. Yeah. And they said when killing them, they said they had diseases, so he was basically trying to heal them from the disease, clean them or whatever they were doing. Like, was vaccinating them? Whatever you want to call it. Go ahead.
It's Isaiah 14:21. Prepare slaughter for his children.
Right, prepare slaughter for his children.
For the iniquity of their fathers, that they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities.
Nor fill the face of the world with cities. Now the brother read you Malachi 1. It said Edom is impoverished, but they will return to build a desolate places. And they did that with North America and all the other places, right? So it say, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. What did they do? Go to Exodus 21:16. I'll show you what they did.
Exodus 21:16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him,
Go ahead.
or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death.
He that stealeth a man and sells him, right? Right. So that's the iniquity that they Edomite got to pay for what their forefathers did for putting us on the slave ship, bringing us over here, selling us on auction block. Get Joel 3. Start at verse 1. I start at verse 3. Putting us on auction blocks, selling us, man. See how I got the little Jake baby up right there? Selling them, man. That's what they did. But they got to pay for that, man. So we had Edomite come up all the time like, yo, I know my forefathers, but can we get along? No. The Lord said you got to pay for what your forefathers did. Go ahead.
Joel 3:3.
Right.
And they have cast lots for my people.
They have cast lots for his people.
And they have given a boy for a harlot.
Right. Go ahead.
And sold a girl for wine.
Nah.
Go ahead. If you go that boy for a harlot, what they were doing was they were trading our people for guns, for prostitutes, for sex slaves,
Cheap wine and
rum and guns.
Yeah. Go ahead.
That they might drink.
They may drink.
Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
Tyre and Zidon, talking about the Africans that did that to us, that sold us, you know, along with the Arabs to the Edomites. Go ahead.
And all the coast of Palestine.
Right, talking about them Arabs.
Will ye render me a recompense?
Right.
And if ye recompense me swiftly and speedily, will I return your recompense upon your own head.
That's why he said they gotta pay, their children gotta pay for what their forefathers did. He gonna recompense them the same thing, man.
And it's just like this. We say this all the time. If you're in court and you murder somebody and you tell a judge you're sorry, do you get to walk away? Do you ever get to walk away if you got convicted of murder and you tell a judge you're sorry?
No.
Not even if you get convicted and you're guilty and you know you did it and you confess you did it and they found you guilty and the Lord and the judge is about to say, all right, I'm gonna sentence you. I'm about to give you your punishment. Do you get to say, Judge, I felt terrible about it? Do the judge ever say you could just go free?
No.
Exactly.
Not to the black people.
But not to anybody really in this so-called court system. The Lord's court system is higher than that. So they can feel bad about it, but they still have to suffer the punishment for what they've done.
Revelation 13 and 10.
This Revelation 13. I'm sorry, no.
He's already done. Go ahead.
If any man have an ear, let him hear.
Right, you got ears, so get this understanding.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Right.
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
What was Esau blessed? We read it to you earlier. Blessed was to live by the sword. So he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Finish that out.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
And that's our patience and our faith.
Right.
So we don't have to feel so ignited with anger that we go and get our own revenge.
Right.
The Lord said, this is your patience and your faith. Know that I'm gonna do it. Have patience, fall back, and let me work.
Right.
And while I'm making that happen, you become a better son to me.
Zephaniah 3 and 8.
That's our responsibility while we're on the planet now, while we're waiting for the Lord to give us justice for what's been done. We're supposed to become better sons than we were yesterday. Now that you found out you're a son of God, you got responsibilities.
Right.
And that means to the best of your ability, keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments, and most importantly, letting people see your light, meaning seeing how you conduct yourself in the spirit of the Lord. Because now you're a son of God, you can't just accept any old thing. You gotta have a standard now. Because everybody not the sons of God. There's only one nation, and you can tell by how they're getting their ass kicked right now. Because you don't kick you kick your son's ass. You don't kick everybody else's ass. If your son, you told your son not to go outside and get his school shoes dirty, and he go outside and he play with other kids and he get his school shoes dirty, and they get their school shoes dirty, you kicking everybody's ass or your sons. Exactly. That's the same logic with the Lord. He put his people on the bottom because at the end of the day, we're responsible for the planet Earth. We're supposed to be sitting in those judgment seats that the so-called white man give people 60 and 70 and 80 years to live amongst other men, to be homosexuals and all of that stuff. Our people are supposed to sit in those seats according to righteousness. Wasn't no sitting in a cell for 100 years around a whole bunch of men in the scriptures. That's not just. You either got put in, if your crime was that bad, you got put to death. If you stole, you had to restore your goods. If you were in debt to somebody, then you served that person until your debt was covered. But it wasn't no Israelite prisons.
You gotta know, man. He said, this is the patience and the faith of the saints. You go to Psalm 50 and 5, Psalm 148. To tell you that the saints, everybody think they talking about saints. The saints only can be the Israelites, according to what the scriptures say. Go ahead, dog.
This is Zephaniah 3 and 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is greater than the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms to power upon them. My indignation, even all my fierce anger for all the earth shall be devoured with fire, with the fire of my jealousy.
Right. So the Lord say, wait on him. We can't be out here trying to, all you supposed to do is come out here to the highways and byways and teach his word. He said his sheep hear his voice. So all you supposed to do, come out here and tell you in Isaiah 58, lift up your voice like a trumpet. Show my people their transgression in the house of Jacob their sins. That's all we do. And we are fishing. When you go to Jeremiah 16, tell you that we are fishers right now. Like we told Peter and the other disciples, we are fishers. He said he's going to turn us into hunters. What do hunters do? Who we going to hunt? Hey,
we also going to hunt, but it's going to be a punishment for 2/3 of our own people. Because the Lord said that 2/3 of the Lord's chosen people are going to die because they want to be Negroes. They just want to be Puerto Ricans. They don't want to come back to their heritage. So the Lord is going to punish them. Because if you're not holding your end of the bargain, if you're not keeping your responsibilities, there has to be consequences. So for 2/3 of our people, there are going to be brutal consequences. So don't just think that the Lord going to come back and he only pointing out so-called, nah, he getting everybody, including 2/3 of his own people.
We're going to be saved.
If you want to get that,
I got you.
Yeah. Repeat the folk. Read that out.
All right, this is Ezekiel 25 and 14.
Yeah.
And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel.
By the hand of my people Israel. So when you read Isaiah 40, he's going to give us spiritual power. We're going to be the Supermans and the Thors and the Flashes. Yeah, that's coming. Right now, you got to eat this roll, which is the Bible, learn it, Genesis, Revelation, the history that go along with it. But you got to know also history, of how everything with history to teach the Bible as well.
Why do you think people like killing black people, killing children?
I got it.
Curses. We ain't read it, but it's in Deuteronomy 28 chapter. You finna read it for you.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother.
Right. That's a curse.
And toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
That's why you see a lot of families break up. Sometimes you see the man taking care of the kids, and the woman ain't there. Sometimes you see the man got the kids, the woman got the kids, and the man gone. That's a curse on her.
Let me get this real quick. Deuteronomy 28.
Every answer you got, bro, every question is an answer, bro. That's why we supposed to learn this scripture. He said, eat this whole Bible, because it's supposed to be out in the highways and byways teaching. When they come up, tell you in 1 Peter 3 and 15, you're supposed to give an answer to every man. Every man, you're supposed to have an answer.
This is Deuteronomy 28 and 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes which he commanded thee, and they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So you're supposed to see the children of Israel, and you're supposed to know them by the curses that they're under, because they're not being obedient to the Lord. And all of these curses, including the captivity, including our people being on the bottom and not being on the top, all of these are part of those curses because they didn't obey the Lord their God.
Right. We're reading it to you in Deuteronomy. Now I tell you, and when you read Revelation 2 and 9, it said the real Jews is going to be in mourning, and poverty, and tribulation. So the real Jews, the so-called Jews, they own everything. When have they ever been on slave ships? When have they ever been on the bottom? Never. They took over our land in 1947 by the Blood Declaration, and they've been ruling it. They own everything.
Can I say this? Because a lot of people don't know that when Christopher Columbus came over here, when he went back to Spain, he took Native Americans and other peoples over to Spain to show the Queen at that time all of the riches, so to speak, that was over here, and she gave him enough money to come back and take over.
Right.
So when it says that our people went on the ships into captivity, that's forward and backwards.
Right. That's why when he landed in Puerto Rico, right, their biblical name is Ephraim. Puerto Rico means port of riches, a rich port. They found all the diamonds and gold over there, man. So they named it a rich port. That's not their name. Their biblical name in the Bible is Ephraim. Ain't no Puerto Ricans and Dominicans in the Bible. These are the names once they was conquered by the conquistadors and Spaniards. They gave them these names, which in the Bible and the curse they call the proverbs and bywords. That's what they call the Native Americans savages.
Right.
They call the Mexicans and Puerto Ricans spicks, and they call the so-called Negroes porch monkeys and spooks and niggas. These are all proverbs and bywords that was put on us when we were conquered. Right. These are the biblical names.
So it's not just one. It's not just one part of the kingdom of Israel. It's the northern and southern.
You got a question, brother?
Yes. Colombia.
Right.
What does it mean? Naphtali.
That's your Bible name.
Naphtali.
Right.
Yes. For Colombians.
Right.
Asher.
That's your biblical nationality.
Is Asher?
Yeah, it's Asher.
Yeah, Asher. Yeah.
Oh,
Asher.
you're right. Asher,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Asher.
That's your biblical
Asher.
name.
What does it mean, Asher?
Happy. Yeah. He gonna look it up for you real quick. Yeah, see, everything according to the scriptures, we are here to teach the truth. You are one of the sons of the Lord. You know about Jacob? You know about Jacob? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Okay, Jacob's name, once he fell to the angels, changed to Israel. Israel in the Hebrew means YAHAWAH, he Prince of Power.
But what happened with Latin America? With all these regions?
Well, they on here. Simeon, Dominicans, Puerto Rico, Cubans, Guatemalans, North American Seminole Indians. 2/3 of these people, they don't seek the Lord. Right now, while they got time, they're going to be destroyed. 2/3. They're going to come back in the kingdom, but they got to die first.
I got it.
He's going to save 1/3 of his people. 2/3 going to die in the fight. You know, Russia, China, Syria, they're going to shoot missiles over here. They're going to be destroyed with missiles. I know you see the movie. They're all in the movie. They ain't just movie, they actually want to come to play. The Bible tell you, Revelation, that it's going to be 200 million missiles. That's why the Russia, China, Syria, North Korea, they keep testing their missiles, shoot them over here. Now they said they got the best missile system ever. All their missiles can hit every state in North America.
Now jumping back to your question, this is Genesis chapter 30 and verse 13. And Leah said, "Happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed." And she called his name Asher.
Right.
Asher means happiness.
Right.
Thank you. Welcome.
A child of the Lord, you got to come back, seek the Lord. They tell you in Isaiah 55:6, seek the Lord while he may be found, because it's going to come a time he ain't going to be here no more. He said he's going to draw his prophets from off the streets. He ain't in the churches. The Lord don't dwell in the temple made with hands.
Right.
Our body is the Lord's temple.
Right.
Once you get the Holy Spirit, the truth in you, then you become a spiritual brick to his spiritual temple. He's building a spiritual temple right now, not a physical. So what you got to do is seek the Lord while you got time. The scripture tell you that he's finna destroy this place.
Can I take a picture of it?
Yeah,
Yes.
no problem. Go ahead, brother.
So this is Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 33.
Right.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go, because the northern kingdom, which is what you might call today the Latino tribes and the Hispanic tribes, and the Negro tribes were oppressed together. We're all being oppressed together, no matter where we're scattered. The Lord said we would be oppressed together, and that's how you will be able to identify who we are.
Right.
We be going through the same conditions, and at the same time, we be divided amongst ourselves.
Right. Yeah, you're welcome, brother.
This is a precept on that. Zechariah chapter 11, verse 14. Then I cut asunder mine other staff, even bands, that I might